just to survive. I crossed waters with fear still in my chest, the past still chasing me, the wounds still fresh, and though the sea opened, I ran, because I didn't know if it would hold. Freedom didn't feel like freedom yet. It felt like a narrow place between what I escaped and what I wasn't sure how to enter. I didn't look back because I was afraid it would pull me under, afraid it would still have power, afraid I would feel small again. I was free, but still flinching, still jumping at echoes, still dragging chains in my mind and calling it testimony. But now something has changed. I am being called not to retreat, but to return, to walk back through what once broke me, to face what I fled, not to live there, but to reclaim what I left behind in the panic. There are parts of me still buried at the water's edge, songs I never finished, voice I silenced, strength I abandoned when I thought surviving was enough. There are prayers I stopped mid-sentence, journals I closed before the ending, and I'm going back, not to repeat the past, but to take ownership of the story. Now I walk back, not as the victim, not as the one who barely made it, but as one who knows who I am. I walk back through the waters with eyes wide open, with feet steady, with breath that does not shake. This time I do not run. I remember what it took to get here. I remember what was said over me. I remember what tried to follow, what tried to grip my ankles, what was drowned but not forgotten. The fear I once carried now folds beneath my feet. The same ground that trembled now holds me, not because it changed, but because I did. I'm not walking back to reopen wounds. I'm walking back to show them they've healed. I am not walking back to revisit pain. I am walking back to mark the victory, to plant a stone, to say this is where he delivered me, to say this is where the tide turned, to say this is where my story grew its spine. Some call it dangerous to walk back through the past, but I call it holy because I do not walk back alone. I walk with presence, I walk with memory, I walk with fire in my voice and promise in my hands. There is nothing there that can claim me. I am no longer bound to what happened there. I am not returning to rebuild, I am returning to redeem, to take back the pieces I left, to gather what belongs to me. I walk back to show the sea it did not defeat me, to show the fear it did not define me, to show the silence it no longer controls my breath. This is a walk of power, not penance, a walk of ownership, not regret, a walk that says you tried to end me here, but look who walks up right now. And I walk slowly because I do not need to hurry. This time I walk with knowing, this time I walk with authority, this time I walk as one who has crossed over and come back with the evidence. The water no longer frightens me, the depth no longer confuses me, the echoes no longer stick to my skin, because I remember the dry remember who